We all know how much of a disaster WWE 2K20 was. Various issues stemming from the Ukes and 2K split, visual concepts having to create their own tools for the game as they didn't have access to Ukes' ones, models and lighting having to change because of that, the engine seemingly being, well, terrible. But this was the first game that visual concepts have done solo in the WWE franchise, and with that in mind, there are things that can be done to save the next game in the series. My name is Viking-Sized Gamer, and here are 10 ways to save WWE 2K21. GM Mode. Let's start with the obvious one. GM Mode is something fans have been clamoring for years. It's an obvious addition to the game that would do well and keep the replayability going for the game. It doesn't even have to be standalone. Blending it with Universe Mode would make a lot of sense, with being able to manage the whole roster, play the storylines, manage shows, move broadcast days and more, but there's some things that can stem off this. Update the Universe Mode calendar. These days, we get multiple shows on the same day, but slightly different time slots. I think it's time that we make a change so we can dictate how long an actual show goes on for. Having the show run for a certain amount of hours should dictate how many segments you can fit into the show. Say for instance, having a TV show run 3 hours should give you a maximum of 12 segments. For instance, this would allow us to work with a structure of rules and add some depth to how we need to plan our shows to get the most out of them if we're being competitive. Generated random superstars. If there's a possibility of having GM mode come back, then this is something that needs to be considered. You wouldn't play any managerial mode and expect people not to retire at some point. Adding in randomly generated superstars for you to hire from a pool of independent talent would go a long way. In WWE 2K20, we got to wrestle at different promotions, so having a table of promotions like LAW to send scouts to would allow players to find the next big thing in wrestling. You could then manage their gimmick, name, music, give them a push, or fire them if they don't live up to expectations. There's a lot of potential with this feature. My career isn't my career. WWE 2K20 had a great My Career mode this year, much like last year, but that's the thing, it isn't my career, it's a story mode. My character didn't fit with Trey and I didn't really bond with him, I just couldn't connect with him how I'd like to because I couldn't see my superstar being like that. So I proposed something different this year. For 2K21, call it story mode or something else, but don't call it My Career. Instead, actually have a My Career mode for players, even if it's something like playing one person through Universe mode. Coming off this, there are some other suggestions as well. Bring in the Performance Center. The Performance Center is a big thing in WWE. As a superstar starting out, we should be spending spare time there training stats and learning new moves to use in the ring. The Performance Center should be the central hub of either My Career or Story Mode, allowing you to craft your character, their gimmick and style, allowing you to use the weights, machines and other equipment to give your superstar a boost before a match, or a permanent boost dependent on usage. The Performance Center could be exactly what we've been needing in the game, rather than opening up crates to get hairstyles and moves. I mean, who learns things like that? Bring back missing matches. We've all said it over and over again. We miss the ridiculous matches that were in WWE games. From buried alive matches, Inferno matches, boiler room brawls, special guest referee and ambulance matches, there's a lot of matches that just seem to be missing or completely overlooked. Bringing these matches back will be doing the fans a service. Special guest referee has been requested so many times it's unreal. Adding some proper variety would be a win for Universe Mode, GM Mode, Story Mode. It would really just affect everything in the game. I'd love to see Undertaker vs The Fiend in a buried alive match or an Inferno match, so doing this should really be a thing. Make the showcase nostalgic. Look, I get it. The Women's Revolution is a big deal. We watched it, we shared their ups and downs, saw their rise to the main event and historic first-time matches, like the Women's Hell in a Cell and Money in the Bank matches. But this is the problem. With the Women's Showcase mode, it just happened. Showcase modes are supposed to be nostalgic, taking us back to the past, reliving iconic moments from years gone by that make us cheer as fans or boo the heels. A Triple H showcase would be amazing to see, but so would a Monday Night Wars showcase. With access to the WWE video archives, we could have a recreation of events from Hulk joining WCW and battling Flair for the big gold belt, to the creation of the NWO, Sting's change to the Crow gimmick, Bret Hart's Montreal screw job and then him appearing in WCW, followed by his career-ending injury at the hands of Goldberg. It could be the best bits of both worlds at the height of wrestling. If only Jericho was still in WWE, playing his section in the Monday Night Wars would be epic. going from WCW Jericho competing for the Cruiserweight Championship to mocking Goldberg to WWE and his awesome debut with The Rock. That would have been a definite playthrough. But that's what Showcase needs to be about. It needs to be about nostalgia and reliving those epic moments. Unlock WWE Superstar customization. It happens constantly. A WWE game comes out, within days, if not before the game is finished, someone's changed their look entirely on the roster. From Baron Corbin shaving his head, Io Shirai changing her entrance, to now having Sheamus go from his mohawk haircut back to his original spiky style. It's time to give the players the power to rectify these glaring issues with the way superstars look when they change. The ability should be there already, and it could be that WWE doesn't want us to have the ability to change the way they look, but at this point, what does it matter? If we wanted to, we could have Seth Rollins running around the ring in a tutu, ruining his look that way. So let us give the superstars a buzz cut if we want. Let us change their whole gimmick. This is our game. There's no Vince McMahon final say when we book things in our universe mode. Return controls back. A lot of people were pissed off with how 2K and Visual Concepts changed the layout on controllers, and it seems that upset hasn't gone away. A lot of features to be able to do things were lost, even simple things like taking down straps for a match with Kurt Angle and The Undertaker. Simple things like that shouldn't be missing. Plus, having 2 buttons to press to OMG moments and finishes is insane. Streamlining the controls should be about making it easier. Sure, it's fine for me and my giant hands because I can press 2 buttons at once with my huge thumbs, but not everyone can do that. Some people want to just press triangle and have done with it. But if you're not going to give us back the old controls exclusively, at least give the option to change it back in the menus. Test the game. The glaringly obvious one. When I saw how the game played at the event, it didn't seem that bad. There was going to be some bugs, but they needed to be ironed out. But at the event, we only got 4 hours to play the game, so we didn't get to see the full extent of the issues that were there, when we were focused on capturing content for you guys instead. Then the game released early for some people, and suddenly you have hundreds of thousands of playtesters, each finding inexplicable things in the game, from static hair, insane ring physics, disappearing steel steps, to complete crashes and data corruption. This isn't a hard one, but it is the most pivotal. Test the damn game before it comes out. Play it like anybody else would. See where the issues are and communicate with the community if they're coming out with the issues, but you're working on a patch to get them fixed. Because the community can't go through this again, not after this year's release. Next year could be your defining moment as a developer to really rebuild this franchise, or it could be another nail in the coffin. And that was 10 ways to save WWE 2K21. Do you agree with me? Let me know down in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more gaming content, and I will catch you guys in the next video.